guess what? Remember Force the Vote? Remember we did that thing called Force the Vote?
Yes.
It was for healthcare. It was for Medicare for all. And it was the Justice Democrats was asking them to do what they ran on, which was to withhold their vote from Nancy Pelosi. So they got something for us for it, and they didn't. And it exposed a lot of people. Exposed the Intercept for running interference for politicians, for doing Ryan Grimm doing access journalism, Cenk Uygur for being his complete tool, clown. Who else? Justin Jackson had to spank Ryan Grimm. I mean, it was just a lot of people. Of course, it exposed all the Justice Democrats and the people who defend them and run interference for them. They all got exposed. Now Dave Dayen, from the, what's that thing he writes for? The Prospect, whatever, American Prospect. He also formerly from the Intercept, Dave Dayen. He says, put the minimum wage on the floor. Make anyone opposed have to vote against a very popular policy that every voter understands. Dave, I don't know. Sounds childish and half-baked.
You should ask for more.
I don't know. Why don't you ask for more and then less and then more things and then, no, you can't do it. And then, but have you tried being nicer? You should try. First of all, this sounds like violence. Dave Dayen, I'm going to say it, is committing violence against the Democrats. And that is, this is lateral violence. And 4,000 people, over 4,000 people like this, that's extra violence. Every like is another stab with an adjective. Dave Dayen, he's all forced to vote for a minimum wage. Now, I Googled, I'm not good at that, but I Googled Dave Dayen and hashtag forced to vote. I didn't see anything come up. So I must have did it wrong. I'm sure he wrote a lot of articles about hashtag forced to vote and how we should force to. I just couldn't find them because I'm not good at that. I don't know what I'm doing. I'm dumb. So if anybody could find those articles he wrote on forced to vote and send them to me, I'd love to read them because I'm sure he's for it. Because he's for it. He understands that when you force the vote, anyone opposed to the vote, what you do is you make anyone who's opposed to it vote against a very popular policy that every voter understands. So he gets it. So if you guys could find the article he wrote about it and send it to me, I could. I'm bad at that. And by the way, gee, that sounds familiar. Where have I heard that idea before? Jack Hurley says. I wonder where. It's, you know what? I bet we could even do a hashtag around this. Hashtag force to vote, maybe.
You don't
force
think
the vote for 15.
You don't think hashtag put the minimum wage on the floor is catchy enough?
Hashtag put the minimum wage on the floor. I like that.
That'd be a harder theme song.
Much harder.
Force the vote was pretty catchy.
So force the vote, but for the minimum wage? No, it's not the same because he's not yelling it into a webcam. Jimmy Dore was 100,000% correct a month ago when he was calling on our Congress to force the vote. Hashtag force the vote. Hashtag Jimmy Dore. I just want to say, using caps is violence. You know this.
And then that exclamation mark.
And this is all violence.
It's like knifing someone.
It is like knifing someone. Do you mean...
Are you okay after all that yelling at you?
Oh, my God.
He tweeted it at you.
He tweeted
You're being yelled at.
And I'm being yelled at with the caps. It hurts. Honestly, that's not easy to take. Go ahead, Ron.
Yeah, but no, I'm just saying that's why you shouldn't go on Twitter as much.
I don't.
Why I'm not.
Do you mean force the vote for 15, for hashtag for 15? I guess you better reach out to movement leaders and start a committee. Dave Dayen, you can't just tell people to force a vote on minimum wage on the floor. Have you fucking started a committee? Have you worked out to grassroots organizers first? Have you called the DSA? Have you coordinated with the Justice Democrats? Do you have your boots on the ground? Have you even formed a committee, Dave? The fuck? This is how I'm going to do the news for the rest of the next 4 years. Mocking, laughing, like a king who won. Like a king. And I will pardon them and seize him. Seize him.
I feel like when you're doing that, you need your yellow microphone.
Right, doesn't it?
Yes, I'll get
You
it.
need the yellow mic. You need to wave that yellow microphone. Oh, there it is.
You didn't think I had it? Oh, come on, Ronnie, baby, I got it, baby. Let's go.
No, I know it lives nearby.
Seize him.
I think I'll...
There you go.
I love that. I miss that. They don't say that in movies anymore. Seize him. They would say that in all those the movies with the Egypt kings and the things and the Ten Commandments. Seize him. All right. But that's what
2021's a new year, man. They might bring it back.
I hope so. I don't get how Dave Dayen thinks he could do this before he reaches out to movement leaders and starts a committee. I mean, that's just irresponsible. He's fucking up the minimum wage. Dave Dayen is fucking it up.
Jimmy, there are people that are working behind the scenes
Right.
for a long time.
Long time on the minimum wage. And then frickin' Dave Dayen
And you know what it's called, Jimmy?
What?
It's called strategy.
Strategy. That's right. Strategy, Dave. Strategy involves not ever fighting for the thing you like. Where's your strategy? Looks like you want to fight for it. First 100 days, my advice is to put the minimum wage bill on the floor. Get caught trying. It might even work. What the F, Dave? What is he doing, Ron? This post is divisive.
Man.
This is dividing the left, Dave. Chagrin. Did you learn nothing from Force the Vote, Dave?
Strategy.
All of a sudden, calling on elected officials to bring something most Americans want to the floor isn't controversial anymore. What happened, Dave Dayen? What happened? Why isn't that controversial anymore? And what is your strategy? What's your second step? They didn't force the vote on Medicare for all. They damn sure ain't doing this. I want to listen to you, Angelic. I want to listen to you, but please stop yelling. This is violence. Please stop yelling. Regardless of the outcome, we need to document the January 6th attack for history. It's worth taking the time to put people under oath on the record so the truth comes out. Only with truth is reconciliation even possible. What? So force the vote does have merit? Call witnesses now, Medicare for all during a COVID pandemic? Yes, so again, Jeffrey Venter's making this is exactly what Force the Vote would have done, put people on the record so the truth comes out. Jeffrey Venter's making that point. And just to remember why Force the Vote is a good idea, here is Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez to tell us why it's a good deal. Well, there's a few reasons why you want to force the vote on something like Medicare for all or $15 minimum wage. Sometimes it's to get members on the record so people can't make excuses later. Sometimes these votes create real political pressure that forces developments, just like Dave Dayen was alluding to. It might just work. Sometimes we vote for historical record to let future generations know that we did everything we could. So that's why you do force the vote, and that's according to AOC. But when she got a chance to do it, they didn't do it. And now Dave Dayen is committing violence against them by saying they should do it too. And I hope he stops it. I don't know what Dave Dayen has a problem with obviously with women and women of color. And that's why he's doing that. That is just fucking mean, in the words of Andrew Cuomo. That is just mean. That Dave Dayen would. Why would Dave Dayen do that to the Democrats?
No.
That's fucking mean. You know that this. I'm just telling you, Dave. This is divisive. This is divisive. That's just mean. Okay. Anything else, Ron?
Well, I actually, I guess I'm mean too. I like his idea, just like I liked Force the Vote. I think we should all agree that whenever you should push politicians to do something they should do, I think that's a good thing. And, the other thing, too, when people keep, like, pontificating back and forth about strategy and about this and that, hey, Jimmy, you know how often the left has won in my lifetime? In both our lifetimes? Pretty much never.
Never.
Pretty much never. So I don't know about you, but I'm open to trying different things. I'm open to different and new ideas. I'm open to, trying to actually win for once, because I've never really experienced that in my lifetime. The left really hasn't. I mean, yeah, society has progressed some, and that's great, but politically, that hasn't really been represented. And it's time to shift the status quo. So to just like do all the same old things, I feel like it's fair to say, well, that's not really cutting it anymore, because it hasn't cut it ever.
I'm with you, Ron. Hey, everybody, this is the part where I tell you where all our live shows are, but there aren't any. And then this is why I tell you to join our premium program and get extra content, but nobody's got a fucking job. So just enjoy the video.